million.
Oh, come on.
Asshole.
Hey, welcome everybody to Friday Night at the Crib. It's open mic. Feel free to join. Yeah, not open magic mic, but
Okay.
open mic. I posted the link on the right-hand side in case anybody would like to join us. I'm posting it one more time. I think we're mostly going to be talking about the Mercenary raid.
I wouldn't call this. You know what? I wouldn't call this an open mic. I'd call this one an open rant.
Well, hopefully not. Hopefully not.
To say.
Yeah. Well, after last week, we're not gonna. We're gonna discourage that. Go talking over other people. I had people find me on the Facebook that didn't know me and complain about the amount of over talking that was going on and the. Yeah,
so they found you. They found you on the Facebooks to complain about the YouTubes.
Yeah. All on the internets. So the intertubes. Yeah.
The interweb.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So let's keep it civil as far as not talking over people, but I understand a lot of people that walked in with the expectation of that. The Manticore was going to be the haul for this raid, are probably not terribly happy unless they had other plans. We may talk to some people that blitzed it. We may talk to some people that used their Caedes, and they're doing fine. But the information that we got from Kixeye was that we're supposed to use the Manticore. And I have 4 Manticores fully armored with new armor, weapons on every slot. A couple ships only have 5 specials, not 6. I'm not loving it, especially with the way they've increased the cost of prizes and the damage that's going on, even currently, even after the reduction. So we'd like to hear some people that have found solutions potentially using the Manticores. We know the Caedes is a solution. We know the Blitz is a solution. But I don't know. Let me go ahead and introduce everybody from left to right. Padre? No. I'm sorry. I'm looking on the YouTubes. It is Toxic.
G'day everyone, how are we?
Oh yeah, we're here. Northman.
Hello everyone.
Magic Mike.
Hi, suckers.
Grimace.
What's up?
Father George.
What the actual fuck?
Dr. Death.
Yeah, I'm here.
Did you bring your tinfoil? You better brought tinfoil for everybody this time.
Buddy, I went over to the fucking hardware store and I bought fucking 100 miles of tinfoil, and I still don't think it's enough.
Okay. Yeah, I mean Trojans might be coming out with a new flavor, so to speak. Padre.
What?
Hello.
Hello. And this is Hefe. And again, anybody who'd like to join, the link is still available right there, and I will post it one more time in case you'd like to join. And remember, everybody be civil. Let everybody get their thoughts out.
Yeah, fucking Grimace already overtalked friggin' Padre saying hi. I didn't even hear Padre.
It was me.
It was you.
Grimace is the one that does that all the time.
Yep.
But I'm allowed to do it at certain times just to move the conversation along. But how is everybody's raid going? I mean, I'm disappointed, and I said that in the intro, and I will also say it associated with the fact that we never really saw these targets. I said this on Wednesday. We never really saw these targets besides the VXP weekend when we all had baby ships. And now we see these targets. Now that we were sort of building blind. Venom did a good job. Well, Venom spent some coins and put some ships together, and he wasn't happy with them at that point in time. So there really wasn't anything besides. I'll let George go first because George and Ren. I'm not sure if anybody else were in the preview server, and were allowed to sort of give us hints on what we're supposed to build to. What do you think about the raid, George?
I mean, really, we're gonna start this off with me cussing? The fuck?
Well, we're trying to get, like, especially anything, like anything that's working.
No, you know what? No, I can fucking rant, dude. I'll absolutely rant. I have no problem with that. I mean, here's the catch. We have a raid that's come out, right? Everyone flipped their shit. It was like on auto, I took, I think, like 5 hours of fucking damage, right? For the auto hull. Fuck that shit. And then we have Kixeye come out through Rampage, which is like, I feel bad for him. I really do. It's a fucking disservice to him and to the community. His fucking boss tells him to come out and tell us that the siege raid was too fucking easy and that this is how it should be. That's bullshit. The same damage, like, area that we were used to, right, has been the same. The difficulty's been the same. The damage has been about the same for almost a fucking year. There was one aberration with the Skyfire and Phoenix mess up, and they came out and said, oh yeah, we fucked that up. Great, awesome. To tell your employee to come out and fucking lie to the community does nothing for anybody. It ruins his relationship with us. It makes his job fucking harder. We then become more cynical and more distrustful, and it's crap. Now, I've gotten the target down to about an hour and 40-ish in that range, 1 hour 40, 1 hour 50. That's with a pinch and a crew. Without a pinch and a crew, I have it around 2 hours, which really kind of depresses me because that's a fucking pinch and a crew, and I'm saving a whopping 20 minutes tops, right? With 4 hulls, which means that I coined some to get that hull out, so I should be in a better position than most everyone else, and I'm using the auto hull. I have to drive that motherfucker like a skill hull, but without the benefit. Why? That makes no fucking sense whatsoever in any way, shape, or form.
And it was a small, quick pinch?
Shit. Actually, no, I think I used a medium pinch.
A medium quick one or medium long pinch?
The turret one.
Okay. Medium long pinch. Okay. I don't know. The ladies like the small, quick pinches, but,
I'm sure that's what they tell you all the time, but,
Yeah. Okay. Well, because it's confusing with pinching that ship is because it's like one's for ships and one's for turrets. And so, a lot of people might be stopping the ship by using the quick pinches, but they may not be stopping the turrets from firing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's why I wanted to get out there what was most effective. And you think the long pinches.
Oh, hell yeah. You want the turret.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't care about the damn ship. The ship can keep on moving. I just don't want the turrets firing at me.
Okay.
But the thing is even with all of that, right, it's the driving that makes you save the time, not the things that are there to mitigate the stuff. I mean, hell, I put on the, what the fuck do you call it, crew? The 15% critical 2-star crew, Deadeye Destroyers. It didn't do a fucking thing. Nothing. There was absolutely zero difference with all those extra. It should have been about 35 extra friggin' critical shots. Not a damn difference.
Okay. Anybody else as far as how their raid's going? I mean, I'm sure George has more stored away because there's a lot of, and the target that you're referring to is the S target, not one of the A set. Okay.
Correct.
And how are you doing? Go ahead.
No, if you have a question, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Mike. Go ahead.
I'm rather ticked off that the countermeasures don't seem to be working very well at all. And I'm hitting 80 sets and repairing in between because I'm not going to drop a coin on this thing. And they just don't seem to be taking anything out.
He has an interesting point because there's somebody in my alliance that has been testing the different countermeasures, And when he goes to Switchblade, he can shoot down all of the missiles from the big boats most of the time. When he goes to Phalanx with the special on and everything, he shoots down fewer than with the Switchblade, which makes no sense. And then I'm sorry, not Switchblade. Fuck, what's the other one?
Sprint.
The sprints. So he's using the sprints to shoot down the turret ones. When he switches to Phalanx, it does worse. And then the Switchblades are all over the damn place. And he's like, I mean, he coins like a motherfucker, and he's pissed, and rightfully so. The damn countermeasures not working. And I think actually we have Padre. Padre, I think, has heard everything from the Alliance. I'm just talking to a couple of people that are helping me test some stuff.
Oh, I've got people saying, oh, if you use this countermeasure and you take the countermeasure special off, it does better. Some say you got to use this special with the countermeasure. There's no consistency with the stats that are on the countermeasure to how they're performing, because technically the Phalanx should perform, but it is not performing in the target for shooting down. I mean, hell, I was saying this earlier, I used a bullseye crew and I didn't shoot down. I still had missiles getting through. I still had from the ship, the turret based missiles.
Oh, that's insane.
With a bullseye crew. So the countermeasures are not working as intended, or the crew is not, or all of the above is not.
So hold on, you used a bullseye brigade crew, went in, and you still didn't shoot down all the turret missiles?
I did not, and
what the fuck?
They still got through. So I thought that was pretty amusing.
That's not the word I'd use.
You know what? I think it's working as intended. They started introducing in the FM fucking missiles we couldn't shoot down and screwing up the whole fucking mechanic when they did. And it's been that way since.
Yeah, I mean, they probably have introduced something to where certain missiles are affected less by certain countermeasures. And then you've got the mechanic where if a lower accuracy one shoots first, the higher accuracy one with shorter range won't shoot. You only get one shot at the missiles, right? If my understanding is correct. So, if they nerf it to where the one that should be shooting down the most, in a certain order, they basically make it to where you're going to have to take damage from one type of missile or the other, a lot more than you should.
I'm glad you guys brought up the Switchblade, because I was really curious about that, especially on the scattergun Manticores, since we have the multi-shot and the splash that we're already buffing for that shit. I thought they would do better.
Yeah, I agreed.
They should, by doing the math with the extra 3, it should do as good or just below. Well, actually, technically, it should do worse than the Phalanx 4, but not by much. It would be about at about 100% if you wanted to convert it to the Phalanx. So on paper, the way that we're told how things are working, the Phalanx with frontline countermeasure should be outperforming all of them. It is not.
But with the splash, it seems like it would take out, the clusters of missiles coming at you from the individual ships.
Who has splash?
Yeah, what's splash?
Doesn't the Switchblade have splash on the countermeasure?
Nope.
It doesn't?
I don't think so.
As far as I understand the way the Switchblade works, is it's multi-shot that fires at the same target.
Oh, that's right. It's the multi-shot.
So all those multi-shots are, I may be getting it wrong because it's hard to watch, but it's firing at the same target. So it's sort of not tagging. It's in that quasi world where basically.
No, they tagged half. I mean, it's multi-shot, but multi-shot goes at one missile.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, all those multi-shots, that's what I'm saying. It's in the middle. All those multi-shots are firing at the same projectile, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And so but they don't have splash.
I didn't say they had splash.
No, I did.
Okay. What I'm trying to explain is that how they work is that you start off with the base multi-shot, then you add a couple depending on what specials you have, and then you have 50-some% accuracy, but you might have 5 things firing at one target. So eventually one's going to hit. So it's a different mechanic than anything else as far as a countermeasure. And it doesn't have splash, and it's semi not tagging. It's tagging, but it's semi not tagging because you can have multiple multi-shots fire at that incoming projectile. It's a tricky one, is all I'm trying to say. Move on. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, all I can say to that is I'm running 2 Manicores. They're not fully ranked, but they're in their high 70s, on 74 and 72%. They've got 1 Phalanx 4 on, and I'm running countermeasure loaders on it. I've done 183 and an 81, and it didn't appear to shoot any missiles down from what the ships fired at me. But the turrets, it shot down. I think 4 came at me, shot down 2 landed, and that was in the 80s. And when I did that 1 set of tier 8, it seemed to shoot down all the turret missiles, those 2 Phalanx that I had on, Phalanx 4s, but not much on the ships. The ships really got me. I don't know if that's the same with you guys, that it shoots less down in the 80s than in the S sets or whatnot, but that's what I've done 1 A set and one S set, and that's what it did to me. It killed both my ships, but yeah, that's what it did.
I'm amazed at the damage that people are reporting in the A sets, other than the Caedes users.
Well, the A set, I did an 83, and it did just under 3 hours damage, and I had 2.5 hours damage on the 81. So I couldn't do them 1 in a row. I had to repair and then do it. And
I'm with 4 Manticores. I have 4. They're missing 1 armor, but they have the specials, they have the weapons and whatnot. And just the 4, the best I get is like 2 hours and 10. The worst is 2 hours and 40 for the pair. If I put a Savage Kodiak as flag in the corner, then it goes down to like 1 hour, 40 minutes. So right now, with that setup and a crew, I can complete 3 sets of 80s. Then I dock, and then I have like 5 hours and 10, 5 hours and 20, 5 hours and 30 of repair. And I'm slow repairing, not coining.
I'm doing mostly the same thing, but I'm only running 3 Manicores, and I'm getting consistently an hour and a half for a full 80 set with the Savage Kodiak.
Do you have all armors in them?
2 of them have full armor. 1 of them only has 3.
Does it make a difference? Does that one take more damage?
Not consistently. And what's weird is before the damage reduction or defense reduction, whatever it was that they did, I have 2 ships with RA3, and I have 1 with the Alloy Com. The Alloy Com was consistently taking 3 times the damage originally. But when they adjusted, it reversed to where my RA3 ships were consistently taking 3 times. But today, that's all out the window, and it's just random.
You know, one thing I noticed, Grimace, that's interesting, like I zoomed in and I started playing because especially the ships with the blue icon, right, that leaves a pool of ice and whatnot. So I'm like, okay, what if I send 1 ship to the left and 3 ships to the right, right? So they're not stacked, there's no splash. And I noticed when I do it right, it works. It actually was driving like that was cutting down my damage by about 10-15 minutes per target, but it's a lot of work. It's not sustainable to do the whole raid like that. Just very tiring. But one thing I noticed was it takes me 3 rounds to kill a ship of scatterguns.
Yep.
And if I have them stacked, and then I sent 1 to the left, let's say, but I didn't time it right, so it started firing at 1 of the 3 stacked ships. Even if I move the other one very close, it doesn't switch. The enemy ships once they lock their missiles on one of your ships, they will not switch to another ship, even if you move it closer. I found that interesting because I've never seen that mechanic before. They usually just fire at whatever's closer to them.
That's interesting.
And this time, and it's not related to which one is more damaged, and it's just related to whichever ship they lock on first. They'll fire on that ship until they die.
And I'll say too, I was using kind of the same tactic that George was using with the pinch, and in the 83, the ships with the turrets, they'll stop at some point. So you can just rocket one of them, kill it, retreat, come back in, rocket the other one, kill it. And then in the 81s, they go all the way to the edge of the map, the map, and they sit there up against the wall. And if you zoom in, you can put the rocket right on both turrets on both of the ships at the same time, so you can kill them at the same time. Doing all that saved me 10 whole minutes consistently. So it's not even like worth the trouble.
Yeah, I don't wait for them to stop moving. I just found that if I time the pinch right, it lands right on. So when you are aiming the pinch, you have like an orange circle, right?
Yeah.
If you put the edge of that circle on the first turret of the ship, by the time it lands, it gets all 4.
Right.
Yeah, I put it at the nose of the ship in the 100, and I get all 4.
Yeah, the 100 may be different. On the 80s,
well, you have a lot of you have a lot of wiggle room anyway, though, because the circle's wide. I just barely get the last turret, so if you move it in a little bit, what you're saying, you probably get all 4 of them anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Also, let me say that even though I was only getting an hour and a half damage per set, it's still way too freaking much. And all I'm doing is I'm hitting like 2 or 3, and then I slow repair and hit 2 or 3, and that's all I'm gonna freaking do.
Yeah,
it's
same.
Ridiculous.
Is anyone annoyed that they actually have like the ships have that scatter gun that you can't even see it fire, you just see the splash in the water?
Yeah. If you zoom in on the interceptors, you actually see a weapon that has a different color. I assume that's the scatter gun.
But you don't see it fire, you know what I mean?
No, you're right. There's no projectile moving in your direction.
Yeah, trying to time it sucks.
My question is about that. If it seems like, there's a distance to it. So if you're at a certain part of the ship or something, sometimes it seems like it doesn't fire. And also I'm wondering if that's just a deterrent to sitting still. It wants to keep you moving because it seems to miss you a lot.
If you're moving, it misses you. It lands behind you.
Yeah, so I think that's like a deterrent to keep people from sitting there and just shooting at the empty ship, because it doesn't seem to fire, at least from what I've seen, until the turrets are dead. And then it starts firing. At least that's what I'm seeing.
No, I think we're talking different things. I think George and I are talking about the scatter gun on the interceptors.
Yeah, it's on the Kodiak, the interceptors, and the refill.
Not the one with the turrets.
I'm talking about one on the ships with the turrets. Have you guys seen the splash after the turrets are dead? You'll see the splash behind your ships.
Yeah,
Nope.
yeah. Only when you sit. If you sit still, I thought there was once the turrets are dead, you can just sit there and shoot it, but you can't. There's something firing back, and you can see little hits
in the water.
outside of.
On the 100, on the 100 you see that. The 80s don't have that.
The 80s do have that because that's all I'm hitting is the 80s. They absolutely do.
From the turret ships, I've never seen anything firing at me after I kill the turrets.
After you kill the turrets, watch the water. You'll start seeing a splash behind you. It's just one, but it'll sit there and splash behind you.
I'll check the videos I record. I didn't notice. Maybe I'm distracted. Yeah.
So that's why I got confused, because that's what I thought you guys were talking about.
Did you guys see any difference between the corrosive or penetrative resistors? Because I can't tell the difference.
I think it's too small of a difference, honestly.
The damage is so inconsistent between the hulls. It depends on which hull gets targeted in the target.
Exactly.
I can't even. You can't even test to fucking make.
You can't baseline, right? There's no way of baselining that.
So the other thing that I'm noticing too is that my ships don't stack very well. I don't know if you guys are seeing that at all.
2 things. Are you running a Savage Kodiak in the corner?
I am now. I wasn't in the beginning, and I was still having that problem.
Okay, because when I just run the 4 manticores, I don't have the problem. The moment I do a shift 1 to unselect the flagship, they don't stack anymore. It's like that in my FM with the Infernos. It's like that here. The moment you unselect the ship to control the other 4, they never stack anymore.
I may go back and revisit. I'm pretty sure mine haven't been stacking the whole time, but that's kind of interesting because it's almost like when you run a macro. You know how it
It's
does
the
each,
same. Yeah.
yeah, it does each individual key press or whatever, and so it's a lag. And that really.
But if I run just the 4 manticores, then they stack perfectly all the time. My experience, at least. I'm not. Take a look.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I'll run it again without it and see.
Actually, I just checked the video. Yeah, when it dies, it actually shoots something at you. So it fires after it's dead. Which, has anyone else having problems with the missile turrets on those ships firing at you after it dies?
Yep. Like sometimes 2 times after it's dead. Like you're like, okay, it's finishing up its salvo, and then there's another one that comes.
Yeah, Padre.
If it's too close to your last shot on them.
Hang on, Padre, what'd you say? 'Cause I can barely hear you.
Oh, I was saying that I've seen that happen in the 117s too, where you kill it and then it'll still shoot off a green missile or two.
Yeah, I did notice that in the 117. I don't understand what the hell the deal is with that crap.
Well, I think isn't it just synchronization between your screen and the battle server? Like maybe there the turret fired before you killed it, but when you see the animation, it's mismatched.
I would say yeah, but I've had it happen so often now, and I've got it on tape, and it just no. Like I mean, I had it where I went frame by frame in what was it, the Phoenix Skyfire raid, and the turret died. I moved on. I started firing at the next turret, and the turret that had died fired then.
Or Padre was going to say something.
Yeah, Padre, I don't know where for you, Mike's. I hear something, but I just can't tell what he's saying.
Is this better?
Yes.
I hear Padre loud and clear.
All right, yeah, I had to move my mic. It was bent away from my face.
I like when you talk because then I look at a steak.
Yeah.
Well,
my mouth is watering over here.
It's a good steak too.
I bet it was.
Oh no!
Don't talk about steaks, otherwise Hefe will start.
I kept it. That's my pet now.
Yeah, we'll go straight. We'll go straight to the sous vide talk if you start discussing.
Oh, we're gonna go over to sous vide.
Sous vide TV.
People were asking for a rant early today.
Man, what a great raid! I am having so much fun.
Well, you probably are.
This is just awesome. It's the best raid I've ever participated in.
I made a thread on the forums about that. It got merged into the bitching.
Shocker.
The bitching one.
Funny.
But what I loved was Rampage posts pretty much saying, "Suck it up and get good."
Get good.
Well, I mean, to be honest, I've seen some videos out there. I don't know if you guys have seen them, where people are being pretty successful with the missile variant.
Yes.
Driving. I think that the problem now lies where they need to tune the targets a little bit more, so that the people with the auto hulls take more damage than that, but not to the point we're at right now. I think that with the skill hull, you can do these targets, the S targets, for reasonable. But
let's be honest, Father. I mean, the auto hull, which you cannot auto with, because if you do, you're screwed.
Yeah, it's big damage. And that's the hull that I'm going to build and keep, because that's useful in the long run for doing these targets when they switch over to chores, because I am not going to drive all of these targets for titanium or whatever they become afterwards.
Exactly.
No shit.
That's just too much work. So I'm going to build and stick with the auto hull, but they need to tune it to where it's reasonable, because currently it's not at a reasonable damage level where people are going to be happy and continue playing.
Because I bet next month the 80 set's going to have the 85 that's missing this month. Can you imagine then the damage?
Well, and the majority of players right now are using the scattergun variant, most people were not able to get out a missile.
Oh, only people who spent a ton of money got the missile version out.
Yeah, so they paid up front, most likely. I mean, unless they were smart enough.
Built 4 of them or 5 of them. I think Run's running 5. We had to coin 2. I mean, we're getting punished for coining. That fucking makes no sense.
So what do I do now? I've built 2 with that got the scattergun on, and I've got two empty hulls that are going to be built for the next raid. So what am I going to do? Am I going to build the second 2 scattergun as well, or am I going to switch to missiles?
I'd stay on course. Personally, I feel like with the backlash that they're receiving, they're going to tune the target so that the auto hull performs a little bit better. Now, you know,
they're not giving indications of that. They're just saying, suck it up and get good.
Well, they're saying that now, but I guarantee you that when they start looking at their dollars and cents and seeing how many people did this raid and how many people left the game for this raid, put in conjunction with that nobody's coining to hit bases right now, somebody's gonna look at their figures and say, wait, what's going on here? Like, why is this so messed up? Because right now, you know, it seems like the whole game is just not enjoyable or not playable.
Padre, let's hope that goes the correct direction, because I would hate to see them misdirect that at somebody that's designing something when they're not the problem.
I feel like that may be part of the problem in this raid, is that the damages are higher because revenue is down for other reasons that we're not talking about today. You know, that's an idea I had. Now, again, no proof or anything like that for... who's that with the Caedes? I hate you.
Yeah,
right,
bite me. You know who it is.
It's
me, Daddy-O. It's me. I told you guys to build it, but no.
So you just joined the show so you could show off your ship, right? That's
I'm meditating right now. I'm watching this and going, man, am I glad I made that decision?
Yeah, you're gonna like it all the way until next month.
Right, when they shut it down, and then I'll be bitching like everybody else. You know me.
They should not shut it down, because whoever invested in that ship deserves to have an easy raid.
That's right.
Agreed.
I agree too.
What else are these super hulls for? I mean, 35 days to build, an eternity to rank. I mean, you got to reap benefits at some point.
Well, I feel like they really need to do something about them. You know, the Ghost Crawler was awesome. I really enjoyed that hull. I feel like maybe adding some Conqueror class mechanisms to them would revamp them. I mean,
hey, I'd be happy. I'd be happy if they updated these guys. So let's say the skirmish cycle starts in, I don't know, September, and the Ghost Crawler could do what the Caedes is doing there right now.
But you know what?
Just cruise the 80s.
If you read what they talked about at the beginning of this raid, they were talking about sharing technology between the Forsaken and the Scourge. It would be nice if Kixeye would say, oh, Scourge, Ghost Crawler, hey, this is what we can do. We can share that technology to help defeat a little bit of the thermal. Make it to where it's more fun. You can do something with it.
You know what Kixeye said? They would have said, oh, Ghost Crawler, too many of them got that. Let's get some other hull out. They can coin that. That's what Kix would be saying.
Probably.
Just that one lady.
Well, like Rum and I were chatting the other day, and I thoroughly agree that anyone that built the Caedes should have an easy path through this raid. But it's almost like these targets were built for the Caedes and nothing else.
Gotta love
Sure
robot.
as wasn't built for the ship they gave us.
Nope.
Yeah, I mean, the Manticore is weak. And honestly, I said that before. I'll say it again. I think they're tweaking the wrong knob. They're trying to tweak with damage and penalty. What they really have to address is the repair time of the Manticores. If the Manticores, instead of 4 hours and a half each, if they took like 2 hours each to repair, and we started raid yesterday and we're taking the same damage, but your dock and repair is half of what it was, people would be happy.
Or if we had like a repair CIC or something like that.
A healing, exactly. You know, a healing flagship, or like a, you know what I mean. I mean, that 4 hour and 20 minutes repair per ship is insane.
Well, but see, this goes back to the logic issue that we've been talking about. There is none at Kixeye. There could be so many things that they could do, that they could tweak, that would make this raid more enjoyable, make the points to where they were more manageable, and people would have fun. This is so close to being a fun raid, it's not even funny, but nobody can participate. Nobody can do anything.
Because they keep driving players away, so they got to squeeze the remaining players ever harder to keep the money in.
That reminds me of that. What's that video on the freemium games? If you watch that video, everything that's happening is like coming true.
That video is like 4 years old, and everything happening in the Battle Pirates life cycle is predicted and explained in that video from 4 years ago.
Yes, exactly.
But this is the first raid. I mean, anyone with a bit of sense would make that a little bit too easy rather than too hard, so that people could get used to it. Yeah, we like this, and this works, that works. And next month we'll have we build a couple more ships, and then it gets harder. We all know that, and you dial the damage up that way. But you don't start at the very limit and then work your way down.
Well, so the next question is, and logically, people are so pissed off on this raid, who's really going to continue building anything to try to do anything next raid? If we expect escalation, what's going to happen next raid?
Yeah, and I totally expect an escalation. I expect an 85 to be there. I expect another 103 to be there, pairing up with 100 to make a set. You have any doubts it's going to be harder?
No, that's what I'm saying. Who's actually going to participate next month?
And look at the bonuses you get from the flagship. They're not all that much. It's not, your fleets are not going to be night and day when you do the flagship. They're going to be a little bit better.
Yeah, somebody was saying they were getting about 15 minutes less damage by adding the flagship in, since the auras map wide. One of my alliance members was saying, "Oh, I save about 15 minutes." So
yeah, but here's where the other problem's going to come in, and the lower level players are going to get hurt worse than the coiners, but even the coiners are going to be pissed. We all spend our money building these stupid holes. Then we have to, throw money to refit them if we want to fucking be able to do the raid, which, that's a slap in the face, because I shouldn't have to fucking refit the first raid to be able to play the damn game after I spent coin to build the fleet to begin with, and then, because, they're going to escalate, and they've already given us all the freaking base tech for this raid series. You watch the fucking FM, we're going to see an escalation for our ships requiring another fucking refit.
But you know what, Doc? If you sit there and you look about the offers that are out there to buy the Manicore build tokens, since there are no free ones, if there were an easy path to be able to do this raid by refitting, people would be jumping on that.
Those offers
aren't not
great, though.
No, the offers suck. That's what I'm saying. There's nothing you can refit onto your boat, Padre, to make this raid easy, short of building a Caedes. Nobody's going to pay that. $150.
Yeah, I think they're shortchanging the CIC mechanic.
They sure are. Absolutely.
In all aspects of the game. I mean, I feel like you could do so much with these CICs, and it's like the person who's in charge of designing these things has no imagination.
Well, it's like George said a couple weeks back. I think that they should have fucking just had the Manicore and then given us a flag CIC.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, they could do a ton of things with the CICs across the game, and they're not doing jack with it.
If they wanted to play with the build time, they could have made the flag CIC 7 days to whatever, to make it equal to what a normal flagship would be. There are different modals to go about taking care of that, but they don't see what they got in front of their face. They're close to a revolt again. I mean, if it's not here.
I think it's here. I mean, everybody I've talked to said this is worse than the Scourge.
I've seen so much negativity in our ally chat about this raid that it's really sick.
And still you have, nearly 2,000 players who certainly spent a lot of money because they have like 100 and something to 600 million points already.
Yeah, now, those are the blitzers.
Wait. I've got now 28 million points, and I'm on the leaderboard at 2,200 with 28 million points.
Well, the lowest is almost 200 million.
And those are the guys that are blitzing it for the most part.
Or have the Caedes.
I mean, in a bad raid like this, and these guys have like 600, 500, 300, 200, even 100 million points at this point. You know they're spending heavy coin. These people easily spending $500 a month on this game. The point is, even if you have only 1,000 people spending $500 a month, that's giving them like what, $6 million a year.
I mean,
right? And my concern is they're only building this game for the top 1,500 players, and everyone else now became just cannon fodder. Like if you spend $10, it's already good for them. You know what I mean? If you walk away, whatever, who cares?
The thing I find funny is you look at the leaderboards, and I don't even know half these people. Who are these people that have 600 million points, and what are they doing with these points? Because I've never seen them out, playing the game, ever. I never
A
heard.
few of them have a tag from a well-known alliance. Like I think I saw gangs in the top 6, but a whole bunch of them are not even tagged.
Yeah, there's several non-tag players with tons of points. What do they? I mean, why? What's the point? You don't even use the tech. I don't see you out.
Where's the
playing.
tinfoil hat stuff, man? Are they actually players or are they just filler?
You think that's just a bot that kicks?
No, what I actually thought.
I'm not sure if it's a bot.
And I'm not saying it's
calling you
happening.
out.
Not saying it's happening now, but I saw in the past where people would set up a hacked account to prep targets for a whole alliance, and that account would be banned after a couple of days. But by that point, the alliance had benefited like galore from that, right?
Oh, I remember. Who was it? BP Santa used to come in, and people would be mad, and they'd try and snipe his fleets or hit him. I'd be like, no, you be nice to that guy because he can kill all these raid targets and leave them for you.
Yep.
Well, there's just one good thing about this raid, and that apart from the Howies, there's nothing really there that I want. And I don't think I'm going to get as far as even get one Howie. Maybe I will, but
got him.
It's not a raid where you need it.
And by the way, I don't know if you saw, we have a few Caedes owners on chat saying they're like at 140, 170 million points just with the Caedes, just grinding, prepping, But I don't think we have 1,500 players running Caedes. I don't think so.
No.
I watched some guy in my sector. He's using Skyfires and he's blowing shit up. And yeah, he's got a ton of points. But yeah, I'm assuming there's a lot of coin involved with using Skyfires to do this. Yeah.
Mine can barely finish one set of 60s.
Mm-hmm.
And you can order 41 for 45,000 and 5 points, I think, for instant repair.
Hey, don't laugh. I'm doing that between slow repairs.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like what I saw, I don't know, was that you that posted that, Ren? That you just repair the flagship and keep rolling?
No, that's what I do with the Skyfires. I slow repair the flagship and I go and I hit a set of 60s. And while my manticores are right. And then when I'm out with the manticores hitting the 80s, I repair the Skyfire flag, and then I can kind of it's not much, but it's like 550,000 points per set.
Yeah, I've talked to a couple of people that's what they were doing, and they were actually coining that flag repair and just going right back out, and they're just.
So if that's what they're doing non-stop, it's 4 coins per million points, roughly.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But that's
okay. So if let's say they want the Manticore flagship, let's just say they want a Howie, right? It's 15 million points, so they're gonna have to spend 60 coins for a Howie.
Yep. Some people think that's okay.
No, yeah, it's not my money. People do whatever they want with their money.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just personally frustrated that people are spending money on such a crappy raid when Kixeye is pretty much slapping the bitch on the face and the bitch giving the pimp more money.
Yeah, it's all about voting with your wallet all the time.
I have 83 million. I have used 160 coins. I got the 100 coin for Kixeye because of the lag the first day, so I'm up to 60 coins. And I'm done with raid. I got 2 Howies and I got lead ship.
I've got 2 coins in it still.
Yeah.
I know I'm being an ass.
And you know, here's the thing: is that what they've done is essentially dampen anybody wanting to try and actually get lots of points to get everything, because everyone's like, "Fuck it, I'm just going to get the bare minimum and I'm done."
Well, they can't. It costs too much. I mean, even if you put in time, you're not going to get everything.
Well, that's what I mean. That's why I'm saying it's just dampened everybody, and so I just can't see them. I can't see how this is viable fiscally at all.
It's not.
George, I was one of those guys.
In the short term, it may
Already.
even be good because people. I mean, I know people who bought the token deal for the Manticore, 10 tokens. I know people who are coining repairs with Grease Monkeys. I know people who going to finish their ships. Nobody's happy, but the addiction speaks louder than the frustration, and people go, now, are they going to do it again next month and next month? I don't know.
I think the participation in this raid must be the lowest ever.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope so too. I don't think I ever said that, but I hope this raid tanks like big time.
I seriously hope they take a negative kick in the pants with this. I hope they lose money. I mean, everybody that they paid to program these new targets and all the money that they paid it's got to be a loss.
Well, if it was, wouldn't you do something about it by now?
You would think, but I think there's an internal struggle going on at Kixeye that they're having a fight and both sides are having a dick measuring contest to try to prove who's right. And I think at this point, just like I said last night, just like I've said all week long, the only people that are truly losing are the players.
And you know what? Like, I know Rampage is not the guy making the decisions there. I'm not even sure he's the guy writing the messages he posts. All I know is that he's a community manager. He has to post them. But, you know, I value my integrity and my reputation. I would never write that kind of message coming out of my name, being associated with my name, you know, just saying, hey, that's it, get good, suck it up, you know, because, yeah, the last cycle was just too easy. We didn't like it. We found it too easy. We didn't want to adjust, but now here it is. That's normal for you guys.
Yeah.
You know?
You missed my rant at the beginning of the show. I actually went into that.
Into what?
Am I glad I missed your rant?
No. Yeah, you probably would actually appreciate it.
Then I get to do mine.
But if you look at it this way, what if the blog needs a job? The blog needs a job, and if he says, well, stuff you, I'm not saying that, you know, it's embarrassing. Well, they're going to say, well, get someone else who will say it.
Yeah, I know.
You know?
I'm not saying it's comfortable for him. I'm just saying it's damaging to a person's reputation.
It's damaging to the community. It's damaging to his job because now, you know, if one, he probably doesn't even have the context. Like I said this earlier, he probably doesn't have the context for what he wrote. So someone gave him that to write. It's a blatant lie because for almost the last year, we've had the same kind of ouch factor, right? And to say that the last raid set was too easy means that the one before it also was too easy.
And the one before,
and the one before. Right. So
we can go, George.
It's a complete lie. So then the thing is you just damaged his reputation with the community. You made his job harder. And then you've also made the community itself more cynical and more distrustful.
Okay, so how long has he been with Kixeye now? A year?
Yeah, thereabouts.
Okay, so let's say he decides to quit tomorrow and go to another job. He's the community manager that was responsible for what went on at Kixeye. Does he put that on his resume and say, "Hey, look, oops, I made a mistake"? Because everything that they've done for this game for the last year or more has been a mistake.
But he doesn't make those decisions, dude.
No, but he's still responsible for being a community manager, which is a management position.
Okay. What does that have to do with what's going on in the game?
I'm talking about, you guys were talking about him. We weren't talking about the game. You know, this is, you keep saying it.
I was just saying that I would be too embarrassed and that would just be damaging my reputation. Just that I personally wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that job, period.
Right. That's what I say. It hurts his reputation in more ways than one. It hurts his reputation with us. It hurts his reputation going forward. If they go back and do any research at all.
And let's not even talk about Kixeye's brand reputation, right? Because you can ask anyone who else would play a brand new Kixeye game.
Yep.
I would not.
Me neither.
Okay. All right. Is that enough on him? I mean, because we did touch a little bit on Wednesday as far as, I mean, there's been on Indeed, there's a couple pieces of information. One, they're hiring a new product manager, or at least the ad's been out for 2 weeks. And then if you look on Indeed, you will also see that ex-employees say, a data manager is complaining the fact that if we don't give them the data they want, that's, they're looking for the data to back up their ideas. Like we're going to do this, and this is going to be wonderful, and this is what's going to happen. But if that doesn't happen, they don't, go find more data. And then we've seen a lot of strong personalities that are Kixeye employees get sent the other way. This has been multiple years since we've had really strong personalities in the game, and one of them had a multicolored beard, and there's some other ones out there that were all gotten rid of that had very distinct opinions on how the game was going to work. But yeah, it's I don't know. Is that enough Kixeye inside stuff that we should move on to something else, or you guys still want to talk about
and Hefe, just I'm sorry if that was already said. You can cut me and move on. But like, everyone remember when you got Tide Seekers in 2016? They could do multiple sets of 80s, right? Skyfires could do multiple sets of 80s, right? So could Bucky. So just to reinforce that whole bullshit about last raid cycle was too easy when you could do multiple sets of 80s. It's a lie. Okay, sorry. I just want to insist on that point. They are being condescending and disrespectful with the players, just calling everyone a bunch of morons who have no memory. So let's say whatever we want, and they'll swallow.
Yeah. I mean, it's.
Well, see, what I think it is? I think this is their new model. Because if you look at the 117, it's the same way. And, Rakin said that that's about where they want it to be at. So this is the new model for the game going forward. This is what they want. Top-end targets doing top-end damage in their mind.
Just like FM.
Yeah. I made a post that, we need to hire better ship designers because our last two ships that we've gotten have sucked. The Inferno Dragon and the Manicore. Some have said, well, it's the targets, but yeah, the ship is there to kill the target in a reasonable
and I don't think the
fashion.
ship sucks. I think the repair time on them is all too high.
But it's still part of the ship. That's what
It
I'm
is.
saying.
I agree. Yeah, you're right. It's part of the ship. So I think if they kept the damage and they kept the ship, the other stats, but they cut that base repair time of 3 hours to something like an hour and a half,
Yeah.
it'll be a very different conversation we'd be having here.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I said, because I kept on comparing them. I'm not sure if you saw the slide where I've done it 3 weeks or 3 shows in a row. Where
The
I
Apollo, the Phoenix, yeah, I saw that. That's very good table, by the way.
Yeah, and just to show that, before we had a healing matrix ship, we had 1 repair time. Then we had a healing matrix ship, and we had another repair time that was about 20% more. And now we don't have a healing matrix ship, and we're up 50% from the second one. We're almost up to 100%. We're up like 80, 90% relative to the Apollo.
3 times the Apollo.
Yeah.
A good Apollo repaired in an hour and a half.
Well, I'm talking fully. I'm talking fully equipped though, because
me too. Me too. Because I ran D2E on my Apollos and D1M, and they weren't. So a fully fitted Apollo was an hour and a half. These guys are 4 hours and 20 minutes. So it's pretty much 3 times.
Yeah. And the assumption that I was using was that, okay, well, they can do whatever they want in the raids and create a target damage amount, but they seem to have forgotten a lot of things. It's like they're using like old math as far as like, okay, this happened, but they're completely forgetting the changes that they've made as far as charged armors, healing, the reconstruction matrices, and things like that, which made it palatable for the players. They just removed both of them and made it palatable to the players. And okay, now deal with it. And it's
I got a question for everybody here on the panel. Just a simple question for everybody here on the panel. Once you get the flag added to this fleet, you got the full fleet built, you're looking at over 21 hours repair time. How many players on this panel are going to be able to be willing to take a fleet with a 21-hour repair time and hit these targets when they go on the map?
Yeah. No, 22 and a half.
Let me ask you a different question. I'm going to ask you a different question. 21 hours of repair time. They go on the map. You're going to be out there, and you're going to be sniped by somebody who has a grudge against you, and you're going to dock 21-hour repair time. What's your reaction going to be?
Dude, I'm laughing right at the moment. I just got snagged by some gluts with scatters on them, and they can't hurt my Caedes. He's taking more damage than I am.
Well, we have somebody in my sector that's going out and just sniping fleets like crazy. That's all he's doing. He's not even doing the damn raid. And on top of it, I just checked my game, and my fucking expedition ended. I checked it last night. It said I had a day and 9 hours left. That was just before midnight. What the hell? I just lost all of that friggin' titanium.
You don't lose it.
I'm sorry. I lost all that. I lost all that those base parts. I'm sorry.
You don't lose them. They dock with them.
They docked with it, but I already had my base parts were full because I haven't put in the house.
Oh, you didn't spend them because you thought you had more time.
I had a day and 6 hours at midnight yesterday. It's only 7 o'clock at night. What the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, the plus side of all of that is the fact that you can get more titanium in the unlocked store and the locked store. So, considering how easy the points are at this point, you can get them in multiple places, George.
Yeah, that was a million base parts. That's bullshit.
And by the way, George, to add insult to injury, if your fleet was docked because the 7-day timer reset, and your fleet was on an expedition, now you go and you check the base parts tab, you already started the 250% bonus. You lose the 500%.
Yep.
Which is a bug they had since they released that, and now they're so intent on making more money off of the players, but they don't fix the alliance locator, they don't fix the recent attacker locators, they don't fix the expedition when you miss the first cycle bonus, they don't fix the generalist expeditions where the extra bonuses are not applied. There's tons of bugs that are like many months old, and they don't fix them, but they want you to coin more.
What you're saying is exactly ties in line with we made kind of a troll post with the state of the game. I don't know if anyone read that before it got shut down.
Yeah.
But we were, earnestly something like that. I talked to some of the moderators. I was like, can you guys pin posts and create like a list of things that are actually going wrong in the game and request that, Kixeye acknowledges them, says, okay, we've been able to recreate this. We're working on a fix. I would like to see some sort of communication from them stuck in the forums with a comprehensive list of all the things that are not functioning as they should, with either an acknowledgement or an under investigation status, and then have them start crossing things off the list, because currently it's sort of like coming from the player base, myself and everyone in my alliance, is Kixeye doesn't care. They know all these things are broken. We talk about them all the time, but nothing's done to fix them. And the problems continue, they persist, or they get worse. So I think if A, we have to get them to acknowledge their own issues, and B, we have to get them to work to fix them.
Yeah.
Other games actually do that. I don't know why. I mean, we get bug fixes that we're not even told that stuff's fixed. Or what was the one? Was it this week that
They
was
fix
so
stuff you don't
vague?
even notice is broken.
Yeah, I mean, was there one?
Yeah,
this week that was
there's
so
combat
vague and it-
issues. There's combat issues. Yes.
yeah, we don't even know what the hell was fixed.
Yeah. And and I brought that up. I mean, right before a couple times before I got banned from the forums, to bring up the idea of like at least let players know what the existing issues are, so they don't file tickets. They don't keep on going on the forums. Just say, okay, these are the issues that we know them to be at this point in time, especially the non-exploitable ones. Not something that.
No, I agree.
And
But see, that's the problem.
I brought that up a couple of years ago, but yeah, it's not to diminish it. It still is relevant as it was at that point. But I guess there's a reason they're not doing it, because now it's a list of all the fucking problems they have, and that's the way. I guess that's the reason they don't do it, because then we get to see that what's going on is sloppy at this point, and that's the only. That's the only reason I can think about it, that it just looks sloppy. Like we have this many problems. So I guess that's why I assume they don't do it, is because.
But here, I'm going to slap on my tinfoil hat for a second, okay? Locator, all these other stupid bugs that are in this game, those are our problems. They don't affect Kicksai's bottom line, so Kicksai don't care. It's not their problem. You see what I mean? But now if a bug comes out that's costing them coin, within 24 hours it's fixed. So we know they can fix the problems. They're just choosing not to.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we've been going for about an hour. Is there anything? I mean, I'm not sure if I missed it, because I had a problem at some point. I got an overload of Facebook messages that basically froze me up for about a half an hour, because I didn't want to refresh and reboot my computer, because I was afraid we were going to lose the show. Because if I'm off for more than 5 minutes, the show goes down. So I might have missed some of these things. But is there anything that people are finding are working better hitting these targets? Like one example is like RA3 versus the comm armor specials.
Yes.
I mean, I've seen it change. I mean, because I know Grimace has seen some differences associated with it, and I wanted to get that out because it's.
So on the hulls, what I actually did refit. I had some tokens from the TLC and I had some left over from the FM. Shame on me for actually falling for it and actually refitting. But what I did was I took all of my phalanxes off of the other hulls, because I had them originally split, and I put them on one hull, put frontline countermeasure on that, and then put the other ones had just all the scatter. It's all scatters. And then I changed Agility 4 because someone else in our alliance had mentioned that they had tested with and without evade and noticed no difference at all. So I pulled Agility 4 off and I put in the Ion Thrusters 4. And that seemed to help. Now, I didn't actually realize it until we were discussing it tonight that, the dead ships are firing at you with that scatter shit too. I have gotten it down to like about 140-ish using the pinch in the crew. And without a pinch in the crew, it's around 2 hours. So you don't save that much. Now, knowing that if I keep moving, I might be able to cut that down a little bit more, that's great. But honestly, how much more, and why the fuck am I driving the auto hull like a skill hull and not getting the benefit of that?
Yeah, there's no auto hull this cycle. The way it is, you cannot. Skyfires can't auto 60s. The Manticores can't auto the 80s. There's no auto hull. You just take
it's the good version.
A lot more damage if you leave them on auto.
It's the good version of the skill hull and the shitty version of the skill hull, and we got the shitty version of the skill hull to start everything, which is shitty. I mean, shit.
Yep.
It is shitty,
The
but
Savage CSC should give them a lot more defense so they can actually auto.
Yep.
For reasonable damage.
Agreed.
Well, I'm just going to say this, and I know this doesn't really, this ain't something that's for non-coiners, but the bottom line is, for all of us coiners out there, we spent our tokens, we spent our coins, we built the fucking fleet. We shouldn't be taking this goddamn much damage.
Agreed.
We poured our money up front to be able to do the raid easier.
Yeah, we're being punished for coining.
And you know what that means? They're gonna hear all that, and they're gonna come with some BS forum master saying, "Hey, we've listened to you players, so here's a new CIC better than the Savage." All that stuff translates into escalation technology. That's what's gonna be.
Are they? I thought there was someone had said there wasn't going to be escalation.
Do you trust what someone said?
Well, no, I just
they already talked about the mine layer. The mine layer was supposed to be the CIC that we got, the second one we got, and we haven't seen the mine layer yet as a CIC.
Now, the funny thing about the mine layer, unless they do some funky stuff, the mine layer either is going to be compatible with the Scorpion CIC or the Savage CIC because of the tricky 10% speed bonus the Scorpion gives. Either the mine layer has that or doesn't, and that determines which fleet it goes on.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we're not getting enough information to. This is still a fucking strategy game, and we're not getting enough information from Kickside directly to make decisions on how to make builds, how to do anything besides just basically coin stuff. I mean, maybe the machine learning is off. Maybe the machine learning takes quite a bit of time to actually kick in. But I hear it doubles the monetization of War Commander when they do it there. But I feel like we're part of an experiment.
And here's the thing, Hefe. I think, the more mistakes they make, the more they cover their ears not to listen. Because you go back a couple of years ago, there was a work in progress post every month.
Yeah.
Right? And for a period of about a year and a half, they were hosting open previews for the first 100 players, whatever. People would see what was coming. And they even got to the point, a raid or two, where they would release an early version of the target on a weekend so people could play with that.
Yeah.
Now it's no work in progress post, no clue. All previews are closed, and players who join those are not allowed to disclose anything, or they can lose their bases. And then at most, they put a target there on VXQ weekend, and all people have are empty shells, so you can't gauge or learn anything there. You just suicide.
Oh, yeah, and they keep me out of them. Yeah.
I like that gift that Grimace has over there. Can you focus on Grimace? The guy on the left, that's Kick's Eye.
Yeah. I think they're listening. I just don't know that they're. Yeah.
I don't think they are, man. Really, because the players are giving them the
They're
feedback.
listening, but I don't think
they're listening at all.
I don't think they're hearing what we want them to hear.
I can't disclose anything from previews. I'm just going to disclose that all players gave them the same feedback during preview. Okay, and it seems to me all players were ignored. And then the knee-jerk reaction starts. Oh, we cut down the damage. Oh, now we cut down the hit down penalty. Let's see what else they cut down tomorrow. I don't know.
So does anybody think that the two concessions they've made so far is anywhere near close to what it should be?
No.
Okay. All right. Because I didn't spend any physical money, but a lot of time, a lot of tokens, and all that work, and I have fully kitted out 4-fleet Manticore, and it isn't. And if this is the easiest it's going to be, no, I don't think so.
Yeah,
I have a final end fleet right now, unless they have escalation stuff.
I spent all the tokens I got, the tokens from before April's raid from FM I saved, and I have 4 Manticores as well. They missed one armor. They are complete except for each one of them only has three armors, not 4.
Ren, mine are
Yeah.
complete. I mean, I got everything, every slot full, and I didn't spend any money, just tokens that I got from TLCs and FMs.
You got more tokens than I did then, because I spent everything, and mine aren't complete by about 6 or 7 days.
Right, and I had like 180 chests, and I was opening chests, getting those 1-hour tokens, and I got it up about.
Anyways, you know, point being,
this is crazy.
If you're only going like I figure my estimation without spending money the way I'm going, and I have some 5-hour repair tokens from chests. I used 2 so far, and you know I got the 2 Howies, and now I'm working towards 50 million points. So I reckon I can get to 80 million points without coining.
I feel the same way.
Right? But I really wanted some of those things in the locked store, some tokens and some stuff, and I'm not going to get any of it. And I'm used to getting as many prizes as I want for a reasonable amount of coin.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
I know,
the thing.
guess what?
Is,
come along Sunday or so, we're going to get that drop of.
they better not.
Surprise gift.
Oh yeah, they're going to give
I don't know
Manticore tokens or generic shipbuild tokens. You know,
they're going to do it,
and they're going to be 8 million apiece. Watch.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
20%.
I wanted some warden. I wanted some wardens and some warden tokens. I don't think I'm going to get any.
Nope. Yeah, me too. I mean, and that's the thing is, you know, you just took all of your top end players and just said, "Hey, screw you guys. You're not getting shit in the raid."
Either you spend big time or you're not getting anything.
Yeah, and that's just asinine.
Right. I mean, by anything, I mean I'm going to get, like I said, 2 Howies and one flagship. A flagship that, as someone said, I think it was Padre said, only improved the fleet performance by 15 minutes. So is it even worth it?
Well, now
I was gonna go back to what Mike said.
You know what the better question is with the bonuses that are on the Manicores for stacking in the fleet, is the putting a 5th Manicore in the fleet better than putting the flagship in the fleet?
What?
No.
What was the question? I don't know if I
No,
understood that.
The basic bonuses, getting a 5th Manticore is better than getting the flagship. It's not.
No, because the flagship buffs everybody.
The flagship buffs the reload and the damage for both damage types, so it's actually better than the regular ones.
And resistances.
No, don't buff resistance.
No, the flagship doesn't buff resistance.
It doesn't do resistance. I thought there was a stat.
No, there's a ridiculous amount of 24 extra deflection.
Yeah.
That doesn't count. I'm just saying the bonus that counts is the extra 30% reload and 30% damage for pen and corrosive. That's the unique feature of the flagship. That's it.
I mean, I'm just wondering how can they get it so right, the raid before with the bugs and whatnot?
They said it wasn't right.
Yeah, according to them, it wasn't right, man.
Well, it was right all the way through until this raid started, and then it went wrong.
I am sure that at the last event, the raid got more coins than this one's going to get them.
More than likely.
I'll ask Mike and Steve about the financial figures after.
Oh God.
Mike and Steve are my my imaginary inside Kickside people. I'm sure there's someone named Mike or Steve. If you're listening and you're fired now, sorry.
I thought, what's his name? I thought GDA's name was Steve, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Oops.
So Padre already got him fired.
Damn it, Padre. Yeah, I mean, look, how well did it go last time when Kickside was like, oh yeah, screw the players, we know better than you. I mean, how well did that work out for GDA? How well did that work out for the game? How much did everybody enjoy that? You know?
But I'll change that. Back then, when that happened, they started with a base of about 60,000, 50,000 players doing raids, something like that. Now it's down to 25,000.
I've got 31 online right now, but someone was telling me that doesn't account for Facebook or all
No.
the other.
Yeah, that's just-
I asked Rue earlier today, and she had a friend like suicide a fleet on a 41, do minimum damage. So the guy scored 18 points. So a player with 18 points on raid was about 31,000th place in the leaderboard. So figure if the cheapest prize costs 300,000, I'm just extrapolating from that 31,000 rank in leaderboard and saying maybe there's about 25,000 people doing raid. Maybe. You think that's fair?
That's
Fair estimate?
well.
Could
Yeah.
be. I don't know. It sounds good.
Well, I'm
Right.
just looking in our in the sector I'm in. The lowest player with points is number 46. So there's 46 players in our sector, and the lowest one with points is 45. Sorry, there's 48. 3 have got 0, and then it starts.
So if your sector is average, I'm not saying it is, but if your sector were the average 50 players times 500 sectors, that's 25,000 players, right?
Thereabouts, yeah.
Yeah.
My sector's always skewed because I have a bunch of coining jerks with me.
I know. I mean,
No, we don't coin. Come on.
Kind of skews things. When I look at the leaderboards, don't go to sector. Heck, we mess up the worlds.
I'm in an empty sector, okay? I didn't follow my alliance. I mean, not empty, but I mean relatively quiet sector. And that sector has exactly like the 51 players with points. The guy in 51st has 23 points. So that doesn't even count, I guess. People with like 300,000 points or more in my sector, 26.
We go up to 50 on ours is 9 million.
In my sector, there are like 68 players. The lowest one has 1,400 points, number 68.
And globally, I have 39 million points, 39.9. Globally, I am about 2,000th place, 1985.
Mm-hmm.
let's see. I have only 14 players over 5 million in my entire sector, and globally, actually, I'm 1,600 with 52 million.
Suckers,
Huh.
I'm at 290.
Well, I've got 6,965,000 points, and I am 4,506.
Those are not promising numbers.
No, they're not.
But they're probably just looking at that top 100 globally that are at 200 million or more. They're like, yeah, thanks for the money.
Yeah, I mean, even if you say the top 1,000, these are the guys who spend the most money. And like I said, if those guys, 1,000 players are spending $500 a month, that's $6 million a year. Probably makes their payroll. I don't know.
I just ran another.
Except I assume that those players are using Caedes or blitzing. I mean, there's a combination. What percentage are just using Caedes and grinding away, and what percentage are?
But can you even
using
do it
Caedes?
that fast? Even with the
You're
Caedes,
right,
you
I
can't
don't
do it that
program.
fast.
If they have your time, maybe, Mike.
Thank you.
I don't know. What a great.
So I'm reading chat here. People are just saying their sectors have like 20, 27, people with decent points. Right? And I'm just reading some guys who posted 58 guys with points in a sector, 18 with over 1 million. 22 over 1 million in another sector. So if that's the trend, if it's like 20, 25 players per sector over 1 million points, it's sad.
Mm-hmm. It is.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it did seem that they pushed us towards the blitz at this point, which is, it's not.
I'm not
good
gonna
for a lot of
pay.
players.
I'm not gonna pay blitz targets, Hefe, with a crappy game experience like that. I'm not gonna give them money.
No, and that's sort of what I'm getting at. It's like if you're, I don't know. We could talk about this in the after show. I think it's the timing of when you blitz. I wouldn't blitz on the first day if the targets are fucked up. I might blitz on the last day, is all I'm saying. If the targets are fucked up at that point, just as far as like the whole ecosystem of the game. But that's not my decision as far as when people do things at certain times. But as far as the ecosystem of the game, they're seeing points, they're seeing dollars roll in at the beginning and think it's a good thing.
And somebody there is going to run a spreadsheet and say, hey, I'm checking here. The Manticore is racking up a lot of money for us. I mean, the shipyard money from Manticore refits and builds, it's rolling in. That's what they're going to look at. And, the Manticore token deal is selling well. That's what they're going to look at.
Well, no, now, see, I got to disagree with you guys, okay? Kixeye knows this raid's shit. They know it. Right out the gate, they know it. Because the only time that we see Kixeye come out with the shit they've come out with, reducing the defenses in the target, and now they're reducing the amount of penalty we get for hitting down. This shit they keep dropping out to try and draw people into the raid is because they're not making the money this raid that they expected to make. Otherwise, they wouldn't.
Well, whether on the raid or on PvP, I mean, that's what Padre brought up earlier, is the fact that they fucked up PvP. And now they're taking it out on us because they fucked up. They're taking it out on us now on this PvE thing because they didn't make their money on PvP because nobody can hit bases as long as you had X number of Howies and, blunderbusses. You're not getting in. And so therefore people aren't hitting bases. So now they're trying to make up their money at this point in time based on pulling it out of the PvE players, which I'm not sure is good for the long-term future of the game. Because a lot of people, there are people that are quitting. The PvE players, which are the fodder for the PvP players, are leaving. I mean, they're leaving because of the FM.
You can't even fucking PvP right now.
No, you can't.
That's what I'm fucking saying. That's what I'm saying.
But you know what? I'm going to slap on my tinfoil hat and tell you all that you all just need to be patient. Wait till Thursday.
Yeah. There's going to be no new armor on not on Thursday, but Tuesday or Wednesday.
Which is the other point. I mean, you spend you spend time and or money this raid, and you go and you spend 30 million points that are hard to get in those 2 Howies, right? Yeah. And now they're going to release something next FM that neutralizes them already, so they're good for 5 days.
Right.
Yeah.
What kind of player experience is that? So
I feel like you're going to need them.
It's unbreakable like this for the next bounty, so they've got to fix it.
The problem with the whole PvP design, and I think that is a design problem, is that it's very binary. It's either you rock and you're in God mode, or you suck. And that's both from a defender and attacker point of view. Everything they release, it's either like, either things are doing minimum pass-through damage on you, or they're doing 109 million billion gazillion Brazilian points of damage.
Yeah, Brazilian points.
Brazilian.
Yeah. But because they forgot, it appears that they forgot that short-range turrets, especially the snipeable ones that they've released, should be doing a Brazilian more points.
Exactly. Oh yeah. If you make a mistake, you're a bad driver, and you get in range of a vulture or a blunderbuss, you should feel pain no matter what. No matter what armor you have, no matter how many other ballistic turrets are in the base, fuck that shit.
Make sure that happens.
They're not doing it. It's like a 10 or 15%.
It has to burn, no matter what.
Yeah.
Targets though.
Right? On the other hand, a Howie alone should never be able to kill any sort of ship in 4 or 5 crit hits.
About
no
2.
matter how many turrets you have, because it's a mid-long range turret. So it should hurt you slowly, right?
Yeah. I mean,
but now there's only swings. If you have 4 versus 6 turrets, either you're useless or you're in God mode.
Well, I asked this at the beginning of the year when all this crap started rolling out. Why can't it be released in like layers? You know what I mean? Instead of having it where it's swinging and swinging and swinging, you don't need to release it like that. You don't even have to design it like that. You can design it in a way where it's like kind of like you're at the balance point and this kind of tips it a little bit this way, then tips it a little bit that way. So you're not going to get into every base, but you're also not going to be able to not break any base, And that's where we should be. And it's been 4 months.
You know what? Some of it should be about how you design your base. And
I'm coming to the conclusion this whole tier 7 group bonus is just a very poor design choice because that's what's dictating everything in the game. It's not the base statistic in the turret; it's how many of that group you have.
Yeah. No, I think it's a very poor decision or being very poorly executed. The way I see it going on is, all by itself. Like your blunderbuss should be able to kill whatever MSC or whatever in about 30 seconds. One of them should be able to kill it in 30 seconds. It's snipeable. It's whatever. So if somebody runs over, one of them should be able to kill in 30 seconds. The Howie, even fully boosted, should take one. Again, it's one, not 5 of them or however many you have. It should take about 10 minutes to kill a ship. They need to figure out how to make it a strategy game again.
But that decision happened. They took their decisions out of their own hands when they created the group bonus, because now with the group bonus, the amount of damage one Howie does alone versus when it does if you have a group of 6 or 8 ballistic turrets, whatever, however many, it's night and day. And now you can compensate for it. It's kind of like a shitty base with the right number of turrets in the group will do a lot more damage than a very well thought out base with a very well designed guard and everything else if you don't have the right number of turrets.
No. See,
that one thing is taking over everything else in the base design.
No, we got to go back further than that, Ren. Okay, this problem started almost 2 years ago, and it's built to this point because now your base defense is designed by Kickside. You either get the tech they hand out, the top tech they hand out, put it in your base, and for a little bit, a day or two, you're unbreakable, right? And then you get the top tech, whatever tech they're offering you on the offensive side, and you build it, and for a day or two, you can walk everybody. You know what I'm saying? But it's not like it used to be where we could take all the tech in the game and design the way we wanted to try and come up with ways that were inventive and creative to either hit a base or to defend a base.
Yeah, it goes back to the split between PvP and PvE. That's when they took our choices away.
Oh, that was part of it, but it's been a slippery road because I agree. I mean, like on one hand, they say, oh, we're going to cap how many fire supports you can have because people are getting creative and successful with that. But now we're going to add this turret group bonus, which is actually a lot worse in terms of generating imbalance than not having a cap on the fire support. Because physically, there's only so many fire supports you can put around the turret.
And don't forget over damage.
Don't get me started.
Which actually they finally came out and said, well, it's a tuning mechanic. It wasn't don't even get me started. I actually have a question. I want to go back to the raid for a moment here because, we're going to be struggling here and a lot of us are just going to be going and getting one of the flagships instead of both of them like we were planning, right? So we see how well the missile version does, and we see that we have to drive the scatter version just like a skill hull. So why not, build for the skill hull? Especially those that have 4 built. Are you going to refit or are you building a new fleet now?
No, I'm not going to build another fleet.
Me neither.
If I had trust in Kicksai being consistent and saying that is a joke, I would refit my ships to missile.
George, you want to know how
Ren, that's exactly what I was thinking because I was looking at this and I'm like, I got 4 hulls. Do I want to refit it, right? Because I could probably get the refits out by next.
A lot of the specials are the same, 2 or 3,
right. But the question is if I refit it, are they going to go, oh, this raid was fucked, and we're going to change this, this, and this, so now the auto hull is going to fucking work? At which point, I'm going to flip my shit because I just refit everything to the missile hull.
George, the answer is what's going to make them the most coin. That's what they're going to do.
Yeah, but making the most coin that's a tricky thing to look at, because right now you're having players quitting in droves. Players not participating in this raid at this point in time. And so what's going to make the most coin is to not have all those people quit.
If they cared, they would change it because there's still time.
Yeah, I mean, the bottom line is to George's question, which is a very good question. I can't even believe George came up with it.
Every once in a
man.
while.
I mean, you thought about it the whole week, didn't you?
I know.
Yeah. So, anyways, it's like there's no way we can trust Kicksai will be consistent, and we see now that the skill hull is doing well, but still kind of a pain to drive. You gotta be a bit careful, And is it gonna be like that next month, or are they gonna release something to make the skill hull suffer more, to make it almost impossible to get it right? And then at the same time, maybe they fix the shit for the auto hull. There's no way we know.
Yep. And then what about at the end of this whole series if they do something weird with TLCs where you need both?
I was going to say what happens like Tuesday.
Padre.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Messing around.
Okay. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Your base?
But I remember back that I don't know who said it now, but someone said that he wondered how it would work if he had one ship on auto that would go after something, and then have the missile ships to take care of. Was that you? Was it?
That was Spec.
Okay, and they have the missile ships go after the little boats, And I wonder if that's how the raid's meant to be played. That one ship goes on auto after the turret ships.
No.
No?
That's not the way it's supposed to be, because, everybody's been complaining about the fact that using the auto, trying to auto ships at this point, it's not productive.
It's not even an option.
No, not auto the whole target. That auto ship will go after, you send it after one ship and let it auto. Meanwhile, you got 2 or 3 missile ships in there, and they will pick off the Kodiaks and whatnot in the same target. Not fully auto, no. Just one or 2 ships will go off and do their thing, and you control the other 3 or 2 or however many you got.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I
don't know, guys. I actually got to pop off. Good luck, everybody in the raid. Have a good night. Thanks for coming out.
Okay.
I'll talk to you guys later.
Later, George.
Good night.
Have a good one, buddy.
Yeah, I was thinking about winding down the public show, the online show, because I'm not sure how much more we have to say at this point. It seems, everybody's provided a lot of input, but until Kickstarter changes things, I'm not sure, how much is actionable. How much, how we can actually change things and improve how we're performing in this raid. So I don't know. Does anybody else have any sort of parting words or,
Nope.
No, I agree. I think we're in a boat that's got a hole in it, and we're sinking.
No one's got a bucket.
Until they plug the hole.
Yeah. Okay. Alrighty. Well, I don't know. I'm quite a bit. I'm worried about what's going on here. I mean, I've been playing this game since Jesus was little, as is Renata. We both. Jesus was like 3 feet tall when we started playing, and I'm not liking what's going on here. It's not a good trend. It's not a good trend for players across the board, whether you coin, whether you don't coin. They're disturbing the ecosystem in my mind with this sort of raid.
You know what I'm disturbed about?
Go ahead.
We didn't get a Rampage report today.
Yeah. That's also,
I'm legitimately disturbed about that.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm wondering now? Whether that was Hefe in the basket down the Nile or not.
Yeah, it's a possibility. It was me or Renato.
What could have Rampage come out and said that would have placated the community?
Nothing.
Oh, nothing.
Exactly.
Nah, yeah, we're gonna, we sliced the damage down by 10% originally, and now we're gonna slice it down to 70% of what it was.
I just kind of meant it was odd that, like, before, we got the notice, oh, he's not going to be around, so there won't be any reports. And this has been a weekly thing, and then this week, all of a sudden, you don't get one.
Yeah, I'm fucking more reliable on my shows than he is. I don't get paid, as far as I know.
I mean, maybe there was another wrestling event going on that we didn't know about.
I don't know. Maybe it was Jello for lunch at Kickside. I have no idea. I'm not sure what's going on. But, all right. In case anybody would like to join the after show, and I guess the takeaway is make friends with somebody that owns a Caedes. That's the only knowledge that I'm willing to freely distribute that I think I'm going to be able to back up afterwards. That's the way to do it.
Go outside. Enjoy the world.
Yeah.
Hey, Rum, how you going, buddy?
I don't, and the rumors that I get paid in beer, no. I gotta buy my own fucking beer.
Sponsored.
Well, who's buying my beer? I have no idea.
I'm wondering who's buying my beer.
Whatever.
Rum's
All
got
right.
more friends.
I need to start buying us all beer and hope we get drunk enough to actually spend money on this shit.
Go outside, spend your money elsewhere, you antisocial fuckers. And I'm one of those people.
Mm-hmm.
Who just said that?
That was Grimace. So,
did I strike a nerve?
Well, I'm not sure, but alrighty. I'm gonna end the live broadcast, and everybody will see you on Tuesday, or we'll see you on Wednesday. We're always there on Wednesday, and we'll be talking about the new ballistic armor for PvP that's coming out. And I think you all will love it. And it's going to have right around a 24-hour repair or build time, and it will make all of these Howies pretty much irrelevant once it's released. So, anybody else have any breaking news?
Sorry, are you confirming there's going to be something to make the Howies useless?
There has to be, Ren.
Since you know that I'm not in any of these little special groups and people keep me out of them, yes, I'm confirming that. No, I have no knowledge besides.
Broke.
And by the way, I'm in one of those pages and I don't have that knowledge. I'm just asking. I expect them to, but I don't know if they will.
Well, if they don't, if they don't, then
I honestly just thought the new ballistic hull that Rampage talked about, I thought that hull was going to be the one immune to ballistic or whatever, but I don't know if they're releasing something else.
But right now, bases are almost impossible to hit.
The top bases are
right, which is where all the points are in bounty. So if they don't release something to make the bases hittable, then bounty is going to be tanked.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
We got to have the swing.
They don't have a choice. They're stuck in this pendulum.
Yep.
Bounty's going to be another raid. We had to grind the
thing with Bounty now, it's killing Bounty little by little. I mean, the new replica thing was a fantastic idea. But then what's happening is less and less low levels are joining Bounty, which means next month, less and less low level replicas pop up. And I noticed that, like, last bounty was very hard to find replicas below level 90.
Yeah.
And I expect this month upcoming bounty is going to be even harder, because I really didn't see many players below level 100 engaging in bounty at all.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That makes
Because
a lot of sense.
every bounty kicks is getting a little bit more greedy now. So
And a little bit less players engaging.
Yep. So, alrighty, people. Well, see you on Wednesday when we'll talk about the new armor. And is anybody else going to speculate as far as what else is going to be coming out?
Yeah, I believe we're going to see escalation in this FM2.
Already?
Escalation. So no, I don't think in this one. I think maybe in the next one or the following one. But I don't think we're going to see escalation for the PvE stuff yet.
Well, I think we're going to see a lot of pissed off pirates. That's my speculation.
Okay. Pissed off, pissed on, whatever. Alrighty, people. I guess we'll see you all. We'll see you all later in the week, and hope your raid goes better than mine. Later, people.
I'll have a good one.
See ya.
Good night.